Space is the element of art that is concerned with the area around, inside, or between shapes and forms in an artwork. There are many kinds of space in art. Whether the artwork is two-dimensional or 2D, with only height and width, like this picture, or the artwork is three-dimensional or 3D, like this sculpture, which has all three dimensions, height, width, and depth. When planning their designs, artists consider very carefully and with a lot of thought just exactly how they will use and arrange the space in their artwork. Here are three very effective methods for planning and using space in an artwork. Draw big, fill up the space, and go off the edges. These three methods will consistently help the artist to create visually appealing art. Put this little tip in your artist tool bag. Now let's take a look at some of the different types of space that we find in art. This type of space is what we refer to as the foreground, or the near space, which are the objects in the artwork that look like they are closest to you, the viewer. The background, or the far space, which are the objects in the artwork that look like they are farthest away. And the midground, or the middle space, which is everything that looks like it's in between what's closest, or the foreground, and what's farthest away, the background. Here is an example of what constitutes the foreground, the mid or middle ground, and the background in an artwork. The objects in black would be considered to be in the foreground. The objects in the lighter gray are in the background, and the objects in the darker gray are in the midground. These three types of space will show depth in the artwork. Depth is another kind of space that we identify in art. Depth is that third dimension in objects. Artists have developed methods that give them a way to portray depth on the flat surfaces of their two-dimensional artwork, which has no physical depth, like a drawing on a sheet of paper or a painting on a canvas. The 6 ways to create this illusion of depth are: 1. Overlap. This happens when an object that is covered by another looks like it is in back of the object that is overlapping it. 2. Shading, which makes objects look 3D by representing the different values, the lights and darks in an artwork, that happen when light strikes an object. When light strikes a 3D object, different areas of light and dark happen on and around that object. The lighter values will be found on the object where the most light is reaching it, and the darker values will be on and around the object where there is less light or no light hitting it at all. Number 3. Placement. The method of placement to show depth in an artwork is when objects that are drawn or painted closer to the horizon line look like they are farther away. Number 4. Size. In this method, the objects that are made smaller will look like they are farther away. 5. Value and focus. With this one, objects that are lighter in value and less clearly defined will also look farther away. And 6. Linear perspective, which is a technique developed in Italy during the Renaissance, in which mathematical concepts were used to develop a system for creating depth in 2D artwork. This method involves the use of horizon lines, vanishing points, and orthogonal lines to make objects look closer and farther away in the artwork.